Right around 2 months ago, we made a video about everything that's wrong with our 36,000 mile Ford Bronco.
The day after that video, we dropped the Bronco off at our local Ford dealership, and just yesterday we got it back.
After almost 2 months at the dealership, we have to get you guys up to speed with the issues that are still current and what was fixed.
Hello everybody and welcome to Performance on Wheels. My name is Austin. My dad Todd and I, we make all types of different car videos on all types of different cars. Now, if you guys are curious and are willing to support our channel, be sure to check out the links down in the description below so you can see some of the modifications that we have done to our particular Bronco, such as the rough country bumper, some of the cool lights that are all throughout. But this video is not about that. Today we need to get into why this Ford Bronco has been at our local Ford dealership for 2 months. We have had non-stop issues with them. We have newly painted body panels. We have issues that they fixed that are not resolved. We have a lot to unpack in today's video. Kind of a disappointing video, but we just have to share the truth and what happens.
Yeah, I like to be transparent here on the channel. If you've noticed, we do have a new pair of shoes here. I just happened to find a good deal. I've always loved these wheels. I know they're starting to put them on everything. Picked them up for a great price. Our other ones were about half tread with the 36,000 miles. So that's pretty impressive that we could have got some more miles out of them, but we're shipping them down the road. But anyways, so I went to a different dealer than I bought the Bronco from. I went to the dealership that I could find a loaner the quickest. So I went to a different location than I usually deal with, and away we went. It was 3 weeks before I got any sort of update, and I got the update by calling the dealer to see what's up. So the list I gave them was extensive. They gave us a loaner vehicle, completely understood that it was going to take some time to knock off all the items on the list. I think it was 6 or 7 items.
And let's quick run through those items quick. If you didn't watch the video that's up in the corner right now, we put our Bronco up on the lift so we could truly get a good look at the underside of this thing. We wanted to do a full kind of top to bottom inspection on this Bronco before the 36,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty ended. And we ended up coming up with quite a few things that we showed the dealer, such as the output seal for the drive shaft, such as a transmission kind of clunk that we were experiencing while kind of going uphill. We had a oil pan leak, which was starting to become a drip from the oil pan. We also had some issues with this pipe that's under the hood, started to show a lot of color change and shift in that sense. We brought that up to them. We also had the top that started to kind of have these fragments of...
It's like fabric.
Yeah, it's like fabric, filaments of what the top is actually made out of are flaking off. They're coming off of the top. We brought all of these items to the dealership. Other than all of that stuff, I don't think I'm missing anything.
Air conditioning randomly shuts off when driving. So there is 2 or 3 drivability things that we brought up, and just hitting those right off the bat. They have to experience it in order to address it. So my hope was pretty darn low that they were actually going to experience it, and they didn't. So everything related to drivability, the air conditioning, the clunks, the shifting, the delayed power was another one. There was a hesitation that we've been experiencing intermittently. They didn't experience anything. The vehicle did sit there for weeks on end, could go to the Ford app and see. So it's not like they were driving it that often. They didn't put a ton of miles on it. So I'm a little disappointed that they didn't put a little more effort into finding the resolve.
Especially for the period of time it was there. And I actually personally have a friend that works at this dealership, and he stated it would just move from spot to spot every day. Like basically they move the cars so they're not like sitting out so people can like damage them at night and stuff. And that was pretty much all this was doing for weeks on end, just moving.
And there was a period in time when it actually went into power save mode because it hadn't been started for so many days, however many days that is, I don't know. But going to the top, because this is a fun one, all the fabric that's back there, the explanation I was given was those are just cattails. So like cattail tree seeds, or dogwood, whatever it is that's in the air.
I mean,
and
absolutely.
They said they could take a screwdriver and just get it out of there. You can physically see like the fiber from the fiberglass in there, and you can like peel it off of the top. So I'm going to go back in there because there's a couple things that we need to talk about here that are going to be quite shocking, that are going to bring this back into the dealership, unfortunately.
After sitting there for 2 months.
Yes, after that extended time. We put over 3,000 miles on the rental car is how long they had it, which is quite impressive.
Just for the fun of it, let's bring up some of the instances that we ran into while the Bronco was in the shop.
I had an old phone number 10 years ago that apparently they were calling that phone number, but into that 3-week period, when I said, what phone number are you calling? They told me my phone number. I had the home and the cell phone number. They were calling the cell phone number that was on file, which was a phone number I haven't had in a decade. And when I asked for confirmation, he gave me what my phone number was. So there was a communication disconnect there, and I thought he was just lying to me when he said, well, I left you a voicemail. Well, I learned that the lady that I ended up dealing with when we get to the rest of the story here, she's like like, I've left you like 5 voicemails until some guy finally answered the phone and said, I'm not you, so I'm not Todd, so time to move on. It was pretty funny there. I was frustrated that I wasn't being communicated with. It was an honest mistake.
After they told you the vehicle was done and you went in, what did you experience?
They did replace the output shaft seal, and they also replaced the oil pan because it's not just a gasket. They have to replace the whole plastic oil pan.
Yep.
And that apparently took weeks for them to get.
The 2 obvious leaks were fully covered though, no issues whatsoever.
Yep, no issues at all there, but that's the only thing that was addressed out of that list of 6, 7 items. Everything else was essentially dismissed or not looked into with the level of attention I would have liked. So anyways, I go pick up the Bronco after literally a month. We're a month and a couple days, I believe, is when I go pick it up. And the young gentleman that pulls it up stops right in front of me, and I observe immediately that the passenger mirror is folded in. And then I'm like, the thing's just dirty, right? So I'm just like, that's disheartening. There's like spider webs growing above the tires. I can see like grease smeared down both of the front fenders. So these things catch my eye right away. And then the fact that the mirror is pushed in, and directly under where the mirror is pushed in on the passenger door, there is like 3 or 4 obvious scratches, like vertical scratches. 100% confident they weren't there prior to. And there's also a scratch up on the front fender that I saw on the passenger side. I was clearly displeased and had a little conversation with them.
We could obviously point those out as well because we literally put a video out the day before showing those panels in the video, and yeah, these scratches were clearly from the dealership. So you took the vehicle right then and there, you're upset, you brought it back and you said, I want my loaner back, you guys have to fix these things.
Yep.
So they went ahead, they buffed your whole front fender, they repainted your passenger door, which I have to admit, they actually did a great
fantastic
job.
job.
The blending, everything, fantastic. It looks 100% factory, so very, very good job with the repaint there. And then today, we planned to come here, we shot this video, wanted to show everything that was covered, explain our dealership situation, but you got the new wheels, right? So threw it up on the lift,
Sure
threw
did.
the new wheels on, and I just did a quick inspection of the underside to find out that your brand new oil pan is leaking in 2 separate spots.
It is.
Yep, so they absolutely goobered up on RTV in the front left corner by the driver's side, and it's has a small leak there. And also towards the back on the opposite side of where it was leaking previously, there's another leak, which already has like actual oil starting to build up on the bottom of the pan. Only been, what, a week? Not even since you got the car back? I mean, just disheartening. Like something that you waited over a month for, it's already leaking.
Yeah, so I'm obviously slightly irritated. I'm laughing at the same time. It's not like this is the end of the world or anything. And just to be clear, you could have the argument that we wouldn't be having this discussion if the oil pan wasn't leaking to begin with, and why would a 35,000 mile oil pan be leaking? That doesn't seem right. On the other side, I will say this isn't necessarily the Bronco's fault. There's some human error involved in what we're talking about here.
You know, not everybody's perfect. I get that, and that's fine. And people make mistakes. Heck, I've done jobs and I've made mistakes. I'm not saying that I haven't by any means, but it's just unfortunate that, one, it's such a big job. Like, it's a huge job doing an oil pan on this Bronco. It's not, let's take off 10 bolts quick, drop the pan, put the new one in. There's a very good chunk of labor that goes into removing the oil pan on this Bronco. And not only that, but they replaced the oil pan, which means they're going to end up doing it again, which means the part's going to be weeks on end out.
Potentially.
So it just means that we're potentially looking into another month of the Bronco going back into the dealership.
We'll see what happens there. I am going to bring up the top. I'm just irritated that they told me it was cattails there, so I'm going to push on that a little harder. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you comment down below if you like the new wheels, if you've had a similar or maybe even worse experience at your dealer. Love to hear about it in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining us on this update video of the Bronco. We'll see you next time.